Now, last episode, we ended up getting all of the dies finished up and automated, and we also ended up creating and automating all of the concrete powder as well. And like I said, these projects take quite a lot of time to get all set up and said and done. Today, my goal is to make this place look nice, and as you can see, there's kind of already a building around a couple of these areas. And that's because I spent a little bit of time over on Twitch getting my, streaming in and also getting these building foundations built. And that was something that I wanted to get done. Foundations. That's exactly what these are. These are both of the foundations for what we're going to be decorating today. And even though these are up, there's still a lot more that I need to do. For example, I need to get dirt leveled in here. I kind of also want to build something back here to house this area. And there's just overall a lot of decorating that I really want to do to these buildings. I want these things to look really nice and unique and also colorful. And right now they're both, well, rather dull, but that's going to change. But before we do that, I do want to roll the time lapse. Now, hopefully you enjoyed that time lapse, but yes, I will admit these buildings are very, very bare looking. And they do need a lot of sprucing up and a lot of detail added into them. And that also is going to be something that I need to talk about, because on the roofs of these are actually going to be some very interesting detail, because I want some tanks of different size, not the ones that we actually see in the create mod, but some actual tanks that are quite tall and are going to extend off of this building. And then I also need a smokestack on at least one of these. Because of the way that concrete is made, I really want to mimic the sort of ugly buildings that those kind of have. And then up top here on this building, I actually want a roller, like a centrifuge, like a giant cylinder that's laid on its side that is spinning, because that's technically one of the components of making concrete, or at least making the cement. Like, I don't want to get into the technical parts of it. I just kind of want to represent it in some way. So I think having those tanks would look really nice up here. And there's also a little bit of interior work that probably needs to be done. Now, on this one, I want these to be doors. On this one, I want them to be garage doors. And I need to figure out a way to make that look like a garage door. And I also got to get the underneath configured and set up. There's a lot to do. I think first, though, I do want to get the underside of the building set up. So I'm going to line it first, like so, with some more tuff. And then underneath that, I think I'm going to use the walls. I think the walls will look kind of interesting and add a little bit of depth to this. And you know what? After doing this side, I'm also going to do it to this side as well. I think that's going to make things look a lot nicer. Now, I think this will also work on the bottom side here. I don't know how deep down I need to take this, because I do want grass to be on a layer here somewhere. But I'm thinking this definitely have be raised, and then we can use some of the scoria walls for the bottom section. to make it look like a dark shadow. Now, after lining the underneaths of some of these, I do want to get the sort of ditch placed in, and that is going to be off the front here, just kind of lining the whole thing. And for right now, I'm just placing this in with some grass, but I think eventually we'll use our dirt and mud and come back in and place that in some random spots. Now I've got to start cleaning up the backside area a little bit with a little bit of this dirt. Just placing grass in randomly and try my best to slope it in. So now that the ground outside is looking a lot more even and a little bit nicer here, including in the back, because by the way, the back was an absolute mess. I mean, there's still a section here that I've got to fill in, but I mean, outside of all of that, it gives you a chance to see how much I did expand this out. And yeah, it looks a lot nicer because I do want to enclose this with like an overhang that comes off the side. Problem is it needs to be tall enough so that way the trees still generate. I mean, I'm sure an overhang would still be fine. I just have to kind of get this, I don't know, placed in the back. I've got to figure out exactly what I want to do. Am I going to just, roof it? And you know what? Roofing it, I think, is exactly what I want to do. And I'm going to start right about here with it. And I'm just going to expand this off using the same palette that I've been using. And yes, it's going to come all the way out here, covering the whole thing. And like you can see, the trees should be fine. And I'm not really going to create the tilt until right about here anyways. So if anything, the trees will just be able to get to this point or this point and would still be fine. So now with the overhang in, it's time to give it some supports. I'm going like every 3 blocks here. This may be honestly too much. I don't know, but we're going to do the blocks and then some girders and then connect that up to the top. And I'm going to make all of these even. Very nice. On the back, it looks pretty good. Now, I think like some supports would probably look better, like maybe bolstering this area, making it look a little bit thicker. That could probably help a little bit too. Now, after lining this a little bit, it's time to start working on all of the tanks that are going on the top section. But those tanks are actually going to include some of our newfound concrete powder. And I want to use concrete powder for this. I don't think that there's any weird modded mechanic that will turn concrete into concrete if it rains. I mean, we should be fine. For these, though, I do want to use white and orange. I want to kind of stripe these towers. And there's going to be quite a few of them up here, actually. Now, by using the wand of symmetry, I was able to lay out about 6 of these tanks or containers. And these are going to be laid out kind of like this right here. Just like a standard circular shape, looks just like this. And then same on the other side. Now, what I probably could do is switch my wand of symmetry to, since we're going to be keeping these, I think, symmetrical, we can probably do rectangular, I think. And then by placing this down, I think if I go to solve this one, it'll also mirror it on the exact opposite side, which is exactly what I want, by the way. And so we're basically doing 4 times the work with just this one. Oh, this makes it so much easier. Now, the goal is to create these pretty large and looming structures, and I want them to be pretty bright as well. This is going to be a nice pop of color in these builds, and I'm going to make these quite tall, honestly. These are going to be pretty tall. Well, I mean, here they are. I mean, this is not going to be a pretty build. I do want to have fencing that goes along the top section here, but yes, this upper section, I mean, it is what it is. These don't look that pretty in real life either. I think this is not too bad. I mean, there needs to be some more scaffold in some way that kind of like wraps all these together in a cohesive look. Well, you know what? I think I have just the idea for this, like a little building, because sometimes in these structures, you do see like a little building sort of popping out. And I think I can replicate that. I think this is doing it on the other side too. Perfect. So I can make this like shipping container looking-esque building that is sticking out the side. And I think that would look pretty cool. I mean, that definitely thickens things up and makes it look a bit more interesting, but there's still something missing. Aha, I think I know exactly what it's missing. It's missing a giant gravel chute. And that chute needs to be reaching out into like a gravel pit. I think that would be kind of something we could have crawl over here and then reach out into this area. We can just make this like giant pile of gravel essentially. And after a few blocks being placed down, yeah, this is basically the gravel pit. it's quite a lot. But I think what's going to make this look a little bit nicer is maybe throwing in a little bit of tuff in here as well, but bringing a chute down from here that runs through this and kind of turns into this. Well, technically not a chute. It's actually a belt usually, right? It looks like it's a belt, which is going to allow me to scoop this up, put it in here, and we can run the belt from here. So if you didn't know, you can take a belt, for example, and you can go ahead and get it angled like this. Now you can't take it any different than a 45-degree angle like this, but you can actually just click on it from the edge and it will continue to expand it up in that direction, which is exactly what I want because I need to line it up perfectly with this. So that way then I can do something like this and then continue bringing this up. And I want to bring this up until it's about in the middle of that. And just like that, we have a really janky looking setup. But you know what? This is going to work because now I can start to get a little bit creative with it by placing some decorations on the side. So this is starting to look really nice. Okay, so we'll slap some panels on the side like so. And then I also have the scaffold, which is running up the side. Ooh, this is gonna look extra fancy. Now, I think right here, I'm just going to line it like this. It does feel kind of weird on the bottom, but there's not a good amount of options that we can do. Maybe stairs running down the back. Well, what would have looked really nice, I mean, maybe is like tunnels, like, but we can't put tunnels on the side either, unfortunately. This is what I'm talking about. This is where things are starting to get a bit more interesting. Now, with that same idea in mind, I'm thinking we can also maybe take a belt and see if we can't get this belt to go down as well. So I don't know if this works in the exact same direction backwards. I would assume it does. Okay, so it does, but we do need this to go down. It's gonna go all the way down into this. I mean, I guess we could line it up like normal. So we have it like this. We aren't gonna have anything running on these. I mean, they're just mainly for decoration. So this really doesn't matter too much, the orientation. But yeah, I mean, we can take this and do the exact same thing. However, I think I'm just going to carry this straight across. I think it'll look better just going straight across. Yeah. And then we can actually put funnel faces right on the sides here. I mean, this is turning out pretty good so far. All right, so now let's work on this little building over here. We've got a little bit to do. I've got some garage doors to make. And I also have some more containers to put on the top. Now for the garage door itself, I'm thinking, I mean, I don't know. Can we rotate these? Dang. I really wish we could rotate them. I don't know. I still think the garage door would look really good by just using iron blocks. It does take a lot of iron blocks to do this, but I think I have enough at this point. So I think the garage doors look pretty nice in here, but you know what? This whole building still is just missing so much color. So I'm going to grab like a stack of orange, a stack of yellow. Let's also do some lime. That's really, really bright. Maybe some of the cyan as well. Let's see, what other colors can we throw in here? I kind of going to have like the Fruity Loops of the Fruit Loops right here in my inventory. Let's grab that. Maybe some pink as well. I really like magenta though too. What other color am I really missing? I mean, we're missing like some of the muted colors. We have brown or gray. I kind of like gray, but we also have the white over here. You know what? We can grab some black dye as well. All right, so I think this is pretty good. What I want to do is I just want to add ink spots, right? I want to add spots around that are just honestly dye that had spilled over is kind of what I'm going to go for here, right? And this is going to run up the wall, and that's why the building is so gray. It's to add and make these colors really, really pop. And I think this will definitely accomplish this by just having like areas that are just splotched around with this. Oh, it's going to work perfect. And the cool thing is with like the shuffle mod, like areas like these back sections here, like the back corner, like, yeah, we can have multiple colors done randomly all throughout this like back wall. It looks wild. I promise it's going to turn out. Trust the process. Now with all of this color laid about, which I'm really, really loving, it's time to get the massive roller started, right? This is going to be the one thing that is actually spinning over here, and it is going to be rather large, taking up the entirety of this area you see here. Now, this roller is going to be kind of special because after we get it built, I probably also want to have another conveyor belt that potentially makes its way up here, maybe zigzags up here. And this is also going to be for looks primarily. But these holes right here are going to be 9x9s with a 7x7 interior, and the tank itself is going to fit within. Now, it's at this point you're probably wondering, now, what exactly is this again, Chosen, that you're making? And well, to explain it, it's a kiln. Well, this is the heating process that the cement would basically go into. So yeah, it takes in like the materials and gets heated. So we probably are going to put some campfires under here. It's just a symbolic gesture of what is actually happening in the real world to make this happen, which I think is kind of cool. Now, anyways, let's go ahead and start lining this, and I'm going to make it rusted looking. So this is the block palette I'm going with, weathered iron. We got scoria pillars, and we also have some muddy mangrove roots. And I think those are going to be pretty decent for the overall look of this sort of spinning tank. It's really hard to not call it by its actual name. I mean, I should be calling it that. It's technically a rotary kiln, but in reality, it is just a giant tube. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It's just a really long tube. But the reason I'm making it this color, like I said, is because they usually get pretty rusty. I mean, it just over time, this is going to end up changing colors. At least all of the images I've seen of them so far, outside of freshly painted ones, yeah, they're rather rusty. Now, to make this look like it's actually spinning and having something connected, I'm thinking we add like rollers to the top and bottom, but unfortunately, I don't think I can get the rollers on here to look correct. Yeah, there's no way to like rotate these either and make them go upside down or anything like that. Now, I wonder, will the smoke on this actually travel through the thing? I think it will. So I'm going to place down a bunch of campfires. These are all going to go underneath, which will give it that smoke effect. But we're still going to get this thing rotating. Oh, that looks really cool. So this thing is looking beautiful. Now, to get it spinning, we can use ourselves a windmill bearing, and I just need to glue wool into the center of this thing. Like, that's literally it. We've just got to put 128 wool in here somehow. And you know what? I probably won't even put 128. I'll do 64, and maybe that'll get me at like half the speed that it normally would be. So I'm going to try and just use the rest of these up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Honestly, this is just going to be completely covered anyways. So yeah, if we just put an entire single stack of wool in here, let's see what this actually does. I mean, there's only 3 more that needs to go in. Only you will ever see that it's messed up like that. Oh no. So yeah, I just got to get it glued up and then click this one button, and I've added some chutes to make it look like it's connected. Oh, this is going to be great. And for this, I am just going to select one corner and see if I can't get the whole thing to glue in. This might honestly be too far, and it'll definitely tell me if it's too far. And we might also, I might go ahead and do this section here. It does look like, though, it will work. I just have to make sure all of these connections connect. So all of this is glued together, one giant contraption here, and we just need to turn it on. Oh, goodness. I wonder what's the correct direction, actually. Maybe clockwise? Like, this seems fair going this way, or at least from my perspective, it's clockwise. That seems, that actually works. Oh my goodness. So yeah, from over here, we just see this massive thing spinning. And if you were to fly over here, you'd be like, what is that? And then you realize, oh, it's a concrete factory. Now, you know what? With both of these things set up like this, I think there's only one more thing left to do. A little bit more decorating and lighting. Little fancy lighting underneath all of these sections. Now I've got everything lit up. I think this is fantastic. There is one other thing though I would really like to do, and that is have a shulker box that is dyed for every color, and to go ahead and get it set up here so that way it'll make transport of these items a whole lot easier into whatever shop we build potentially for these powders. So pretty sure there are some powder thirsty server mates here that would really benefit from this farm I just built. So once I turn this on and start placing in all of these shulker boxes, they're going to start loading and we're going to hear this whole thing fire back up again. Because this is going to rip out about 1,700 from each of these containers, which is about 1/3 of their total capacity overall. So very interesting. This whole thing is just going to jump right back into action, but it will give me shulker boxes completely filled with these materials and also an access point to be able to pull some out instead of me pulling them off the item drains, which is what I've been doing. And so now for the final reveal. Oh, I'm really excited about this. All I'm going to do is take a nice quick flight just to see what this actually looks like from a distance. And I hope it turned out good. Oh my, oh my goodness. It's a little bit more of a mega structure than I thought it was going to be, as this is just the start. Oh my. Yeah. Well, it is a concrete factory after all. And out of all of the things I've built so far, I mean, it definitely fits the theme. And I have been going with this like 50s style, like factory theme. I mean, the industrial era, essentially. And yeah, I mean, we have packages going everywhere, a concrete facility. Oh, this is great. A dye factory. Even though the dye factory doesn't look too much like a dye factory, I wanted this whole thing to sort of look like it was one cohesive concrete generator. Because yeah, that's what this mainly is. It's mainly dye being used, this whole dye automation being used essentially to make this concrete. Now, I did get several of you guys asking for a schematic of this factory, and I am 100% going to get you guys a schematic for this. However, I don't think the schematic is going to come with the 2 farms in the back. It is just going to literally house everything that is contained within here. So you'll be able to literally just plop this thing down in your world. And this is available for everybody over on my Discord. You can find it in the schematics channel. Just find the schematics channel on my Discord. Link down in the description below if that's something you're interested in. And yeah, you can use this dye farm for your own. Now, the concrete facility, I'm not too worried about that one. That one is simple enough in its own right for you guys to be able to follow along in the videos to make, if that's something you're interested in. It's literally repeating the same module over and over again. This module, and then I did modify it a little bit by using an item vault, because when everything kicks up, it becomes a little bit overwhelming for all of these to kind of work. But yeah, this has been working really well now. And with that, we have ourselves a dye factory. Concrete powder factory, actually. And I plan on making a shop for this so I can share it with the server mates. That's a future project that we're going to be doing here soon. And I want to be able to get this out to everybody as soon as possible. Now, I'm not turning it into concrete. That is something that I think everybody has the ability to do, and do it very quickly just by simply washing it. Everyone on the server has a washer, so there shouldn't be any problem there. And if you really wanted to wash it with water, I think Eggs also has that in the Diomat. If he doesn't have a washer in there, he's missing out. He should probably add a washer in there. But anyways, guys, if this is something you enjoy and you enjoy these videos, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a huge thumbs up. And also, don't forget to comment down below. Let others know about this concrete factory. Maybe you guys have more information on how concrete's actually made. Did I do a good job at representing like the idea of a concrete facility? Like, I don't know. Like I said, let me know down in the comments below. I'd really love to hear from you guys. And with that being said, it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to Nevote. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. Couldn't do it without you guys, and I can't do it without you, so thank you so very much. And of course, without further ado, as always, yet again to all of you, thanks for watching.